What's up, In the Loop? It's Hyde checking in from Dollywood Smoky Mountain Christmas. Been hearing about this event for a long time. If you've been a long time listener to the podcast, you know several of the folks on the podcast have been huge fans of this. Drew's been talking about it for years. So finally excited to be here, checking it out. A little middle of the afternoon. It is very crowded already. So we're going to go pick up our time saver and start checking out the rides, the shows. We're going to show you the food, the lights, the whole thing. Let's go. It's nice they keep the lights on all day. It kind of adds to the atmosphere. Even here, middle of the day, still nice to kind of see them on. I know some parks don't turn them on until later, so it's a nice little upgrade. So I'm fortunate that today is beautiful blue skies and about 70 degrees. Doesn't quite have the Christmas vibe, but it's a beautiful day to be at a theme park. We'll note they do close rides when it gets cold, so be sure to check the website. They have details on what rides close at what temperature, but normally you don't get this lucky with this kind of weather. A lot of times, you are up in the mountains, you are in Tennessee. A lot of times it gets below freezing, and when it starts getting near freezing, rides close. So it's something you definitely want to keep in mind if you're planning on coming on a day when it gets colder.
Wanted to spend a minute talking about Time Saver, Dollywood Skip the Line, Fast Pass, whatever you want to call it. There's two options. One that allows you to skip lines up to 8 times. You can use that to skip, say, Lightning Rod 8 times, or 8 different rides, or unlimited. I'd recommend sticking with the 8. That'll be more than enough. But the key is, it also allows you access to shows, which is a huge, pardon the pun, time saver.
Shows are a big part of Smoky Mountain Christmas here, and there's big shows inside, and then there's just a lot of these small little, musical duos or musical trios throughout the park that you don't really have to get early for. You can just kind of walk by and take some of it in. One thing I really loved is they have all these roaming performers. This guy's on saxophone, obviously. There's a guy on a banjo, a lady on a violin, playing Christmas songs and interacting kind of one-on-one with the crowd. Really neat touch. One of the big benefits of Time Saver is the shows. The shows are immensely popular here at Christmas. You can actually see the extended queue set up here for some of these shows. They're quite long. And with Time Saver, in addition to all the normal rides, you get to pick times for the 3 main shows. You can show up 10 minutes beforehand. In this case, go in the backside entrance. Definitely saves you a lot of time, probably a half hour for each of the shows. That's how early people line up for these shows.
Not only do you get to skip the line with Time Saver, and both shows we saw, the line formed maybe a half hour, 40 minutes early, but you get preferred seat right up front and center. So nice added bonus there. Wanted to also spend a moment just kind of talking about the shows at Dollywood. There's a couple bigger ones. Those are the ones that you get to skip the line for. This one that you're seeing here is a set for Was the Night Before Christmas. A fun little show, but both of the big Christmas shows are about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. A little bit long on for me, but overall both enjoyable, nice sets, nice singing. As I mentioned, as long as the weather is nice, all the non-water rides are open. They don't get as long of lines because there's all the shows and other Christmas activities going on.
Dollywood Express is always a must when you come to Dollywood. While the train's lit up with a little bit of lights, so is the depot. You don't see a ton of lights from it. There's not some big display up at the top of the mountain. So this is one that when you're prioritizing what do you do during the day to save time for lights and stuff at night, probably it's okay to do during the day. Starting out the lights here in the country fair section. Every building's decorated. Love these wreaths. Definitely a lot of Christmas lights here. They advertise a lot, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of Christmas lights in this video. feel like the secret's out on cinnamon bread. I feel like every time I used to come here, till like the last 3 years, the line was never this long. Now the line's like out the door every single time I come. But I mean, it is still really good. Should be no surprise that Craftsman Valley here is one of the nicer areas of the park with the Christmas lights. All the buildings in simple white lights, some twinkling. There's lots of lights everywhere. If you haven't been to Dollywood, this is the area where there's basically like a permanent craft fair. It's actually kind of nice because it's not just all your typical merchandise you find at every single theme park. Some pretty unique stuff here. Some stuff that like, how would you even get this home? Like they used to sell carriages. Not sure how you get that home, but definitely a fun area to walk around and just poke your head in some of these shops. Because like I said, it's not like every other park where every shop's the same. Got like sign making over here. Because they do have some Christmas themed stuff, and oh, that wasn't music coming from the city. That's the church here at Dollywood. They actually do mass, I believe, one time a week. There's a live choir. They call this area, you get to the sign, Valley Falls at Glacier Ridge. Polar bear over there. The train just came by, so it's very smoky, but it actually kind of gives it off a nice vibe in the area. Blazing Fury is looking good.
Here's how it works. Y'all make some noise.
Not a ton of lights on Lightning Rod. There's a little bit on the brake run. That might just be normal though. But it's good because that means it keeps the ride nice and dark, which makes night rides on Lightning Rod huge bonus of this event. Now remember, Lightning Rod's not the most reliable coaster, so if you show up and it's running, ride in the daylight. Don't necessarily wait for night. It might not work. But if you're still around, come at night and ride at night. Walking in the Timber Canyons part of the park, a lot of blue, different color blue and white lights. This area lends itself to Christmas. Looks like these Christmas trees are actually brought in for the occasion. Don't believe they're here year round. So that's nice. Not just putting lights on trees that were here. Top of Timber Canyon walkway here. Got Glacier Ridge. It's the train trestle. All these nice little bags here. And stalling for a second till we get over to these trees. Nice, like, bright blue and white lights. Nice wrap tree. Feels like every park has one of these. And they're still pretty cool. It's not a knock. These light tunnel things. Thunderhead has some lights on it, like from the station up the lift. Would be really cool to see them do the whole ride. I think that would be really sharp. Mystery Mine looking nice with the blue glow. Walking up Wildwood Grove, newest section of the park. A lot of lanterns, a lot of blue, white lights. tree in Wildwood Grove kind of changes colors. They really made a big deal about this when they announced this area, saying it was going to be a focal point, and it's kind of buried off to the side. And I think you could do a little bit more. I think it'd be cool if they changed it like Christmas colors or something, because there are a lot of cool Christmas colors around this area. Nice little lights on Mystery Mine here. Where the river battle was a couple years ago, they made a big deal about when they removed it. They wanted to create like a holiday area, and as part of it, it's this giant tree. It's at 65 feet tall. It dances, changes colors, but right now it's telling a story about black bear. You know, because we are in the Smokies. Nice little. I really like the blue and white theme they have going around here.
With all this Christmas cheer, it's hard to be alone. Putting up the Christmas tree with friends who come around. That's all.
Fire chaser expressed with a nice wintry blue glow. Nice thing about Dollywood Christmas is parks open late. Generally speaking, a lot of times during the summer, and they've expanded hours in recent times, but still it's a park that's not always open well into the nighttime, giving you that chance for night rides. So I haven't done this one at night. Looking forward to it. This area between Blazing Fury and Tennessee Tornado, really cool with these lights. Kind of reminds me of Spaceship Earth ending. They pump fog in here too to kind of give it this kind of like chilly effect. Perhaps the best lights are here up at the front of the park. Every building in the park, I would say, maybe 99% of them have lights on them, which is really cool. Some parks do really well in some areas, and then you walk to another area and there's no lights. But this is definitely the main light area. Also, just want to point out we came on a Sunday. It does get pretty busy, so even though it was early December when I'm filming this, it was still pretty busy even for a Sunday, but it did clear out quite a bit. They do fireworks at 9 o'clock, but it's after about 7:45 or so, it really cleared out. Ride lines pretty much non-existent, and pathways, as you can kind of see here, that's where pretty much shoulder to shoulder earlier, are almost non-existent as well. Dollywood is doing fireworks at the end of the night, and perfect viewing spot is here in the parking lot. We are in D&E. That's just that big area up by the toll booth. I don't know if you'd be able to see it if you're in some of the first few lots, but it feels like it's shot from like the back corner of the parking lot here. Hear all the car alarms going off. It's a nice little touch. You know, they previously did a Christmas parade. They don't do that anymore. So this is kind of like a nice sub for Christmas parade. And that wraps up our visit to Smoky Mountain Christmas. Been to Dollywood many times, but my first time at Smoky Mountain Christmas, and definitely lives up to the hype. I would say this is probably the best Christmas event out there. It has all the mainstays, the Christmas lights, Christmas shows, Christmas food. You really no no negatives on this. I think it's a great event. I think the only negative would be is if you were to come here when it's too cold and some of the rides aren't open. Like I've said, get the time saver. That's really helpful because this park gets very crowded during Christmas time. That'll be a huge help. Make sure you see a couple of the shows. We'll say a lot of shows, are kind of the same from a Christmas vibe standpoint. So unless you're super Christmassy, you might want to keep it at 2 to 3 shows max. We did 2 and almost was too much. But they have really good shows here at Dollywood. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll keep you updated on everything Dollywood. They're building some new roller coaster. A lot of updates on that on the channel. Thanks for watching.